Greetings Boffins and welcome to the Boffin Lab. I'm Old Man Triton and in this video we're going to introduce bounty hunting ship-to-ship combat for rookies in Star Citizen 4.5. Bounty hunting is confusing because many people don't realize that there are several different meanings to the term bounty hunting. For starters, bounty hunting missions can be either PvP, PV ground, or PV air. You could be flying a ship versus a ship, you can be flying ship versus multiple ships, or you can be fighting a group of people on the ground and the ground turrets that go with that installation. And so you need to know what you're getting into before you take the mission. Otherwise, you could lose everything you take with you. This is one of the things that gets a lot of new players in trouble, is that they gear up, they discover they've accidentally taken a first-person shooter mission, and they get themselves in armor, equipment, ammunition, and so on, and then get themselves killed and lose it all. They usually end up broke as a result of this, and of course, what do they have to do next? They have to beg in global channel. That's usually the pattern, and I see it so often it's not funny. The real trick is the devil is in the details. You have to read the contract, and that's very important for somebody who is trying to get a mission. The details of a contract tell you the details of the mission. That should be obvious to anybody, but we're too used to MMOs where you just click, 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 and skip through all the dialogue and just follow the waypoints to what you need to do. This is different in Star Citizen. You will get yourself in trouble from the very first click if you don't read the contract. For most beginners, you will have to start your bounty hunting career by first completing a Tracker's Training certification. You need to look at the Tracker's Training Permit certification, which will cost you 500 credits to purchase. So you can't do this indefinitely and fail over and over again, but you are going to get 34,500 back if you complete it. First thing to look at, where is the fight? The fight is in a debris field above Lyra. Avoid fights that are above anything that might be a armistice zone and anything that might have turrets. Second, check to find out whether you're fighting another ship. It should say so somewhere in the contract. Make sure you're fighting a ship. If it doesn't say that there is a ship, you should be in fact fighting on the ground, and you don't want that straight off the bat. For this contract, I have deliberately taken a Mustang Alpha, which is the basic rookie package you're probably going to buy if you've only just put a little bit of dollars into the game. You might buy later down the track, but we'll show you that you can in fact progress even with this relatively weak fighter craft. The advantage this fighter has is that it's dexterous. The idea is to keep out of the line of fire. When you approach these asteroid belts and debris fields, be wary. The actual debris is more dangerous than the enemy shooting at you in this mission. The enemy doesn't get particularly aggressive in these early missions. They get very aggressive as you progress through the chain. But the debris is something that you can't win a fight against. If you run into a rock, you run into a rock, and that's it. One thing you will have to be able to master is the scanning mechanic. I'm using tab to pulse and locate the direction of the ship, and I'm also narrowing the field by using the mouse wheel and scanning to find out what my target is by holding down the left mouse button. It tells me it's another Mustang Alpha, so you're fighting like for like. I wouldn't try this in a cutter, but a Avenger Titan would be very definitely up to the challenge, and this Mustang Alpha can certainly do what it needs to do. One thing that is very important is that the AI have a habit of charging at you. And so if they do, it's a good idea to strafe sideways or up or down. Don't be going straight towards them. Get out of the habit of pressing the W key all the time. In that key tends to put you into danger more often than not. I've also enabled Gimbled mode, and this is a cheat mode that's very useful for new players. Gimbled mode is enabled with G, and you'll notice my reticle is moving with my mouse cursor, which is allowing me to shoot at something that's not directly in front of me. This is reducing my firepower or DPS by 20%, but it's guaranteeing more of my hits land. I think getting more hits on target than more DPS is pretty good until you become a good enough fighter that you can land your hits without the gimbal mode. What should you be wearing when you're on this trip? Practically nothing. You can get away with nothing at all. But you could just wear a flight suit and a helmet, and that would be sufficient. This way you don't lose anything if you do in fact run into a rock, which is still your most dangerous opponent out here at the moment. And also you do need to make sure that you know where your clone is going to respawn when you die, should that happen. Just try to make sure it's near the station that you're working around or the planet that you're working around. So every planet in the Stanton system, and I assume in Pyro and Nyx, has its own bounty system and levels of permits, and you need to earn those permits for each planet. For example, I am nearly at the top level for New Babbage, but that is Microtech, but I have only just completed, with that kill there, the first level for ArcCorp. And so you can specialize in a particular location and get better payouts for your reputation with that organization. Now I'm going to say a few rules out loud so that everybody can understand them, and show a little bit of footage of me doing the second level mission in a Mustang Alpha. My second level opponents was a Hornet Mark 1 and a Eclipse. They did take a long time to deal with, and the Eclipse I had to fight completely in cloud, making it very difficult to deal with because it disappeared out of view at 2 kilometers. Now, first rule, always know where you're going to fight. Don't fight over a facility that's going to shoot at you. Don't fight over an armistice zone. And try to choose a place that you're comfortable fighting. If you're comfortable fighting in atmosphere, then choose a place over a cave or a wreck. If you're comfortable fighting in a debris field or a mining asteroid base, then that's the place to go. Try to choose one of those places first. The mission cycle, so you can in fact choose if you give it some time. Second thing to choose, make sure the mission mentions a ship. Okay, the tracker's permits always deal with ships, but if you're looking at other bounty hunter missions, they will specifically mention a ship in the description. Otherwise, the mission will be a first-person shooter mission, ground combat. Not what you want to do, not what you're yet set up for. You need a couple of 100,000 handy to do that without risking losing large amounts of money. Third, avoid using missiles. This is because missiles cost large amounts of money and are not guaranteed to do the giant amounts of damage you wish they would do. Okay, they're a situational weapon, and until you're good at combat, you should try and avoid using them to begin with. Use your lasers, upgrade your lasers if you can afford to, and go from there. Fourth rule is to take as little equipment as you can avoid. The only reason to take equipment in a fighter is if you want to try and roleplay it escaping from a crash situation or something like that. You're more likely to blow up and die completely in space and unable to do anything than you are to be able to recover yourself in some way, unless you've got buddies that will come and pick you up. The fifth rule is do not fly directly at your target unless he's a fair way off. You are not a homing missile. That target is going to turn around and charge practically straight at you as you are about to see them do. I am deliberately strafing left and right to avoid these head-on attacks. The AI does seem to enjoy ramming ships and making them pay for just chasing directly after you. So try to avoid being directly in front of an enemy ship. Now, as you do missions, you will gain reputation with both the Bounty Hunters Guild and with the planet that you're doing missions around near. That planet will give you an extra payout for your dedicated service, and the Bounty Hunters Guild will give you access to higher level missions. You'll have to unlock those missions by doing a permit of some nature, which you'll have to pay for, but this gives you access to higher paying missions, more challenging opponents, and more interesting fights. So I'm hoping at this stage I've given you the tools you need to get through your first missions as a bounty hunter and earned your subscription for the video. In the meantime, I will wish you good hunting in the skies above Stanton, Pyro and Nix. Get ready for the possible wipe that's due on the horizon and have fun in space.